Hi, today we're going to learn how to make a traditional origami crane. Origami cranes are an international symbol of peace and are frequently strung together for display, but they're really fun to make and not so hard once you get the hang of it. You can use white practice paper for origami paper, or you can use some fancier paper. I'm going to show you how to get started so that you could make a basic origami crane. The first thing you're going to need is origami paper, which is traditionally a square piece of paper. It's very, very thin paper, so it's easy to to crease and to fold. When you're folding, you want to be sure that you're making nice, sharp creases. What I mean is I want you to make the edges line up and the corners line up as best you can. Really make those into some sharp, sharp points. Run your fingernail across if you need to do that. Open it up and go the other direction. Be sure you open it up. Don't try to take a shortcut on that. Open it up. It's important. You'll see why in just a minute. Now I'm going to take this whole paper and I'm going to flip it over like a pancake, and then I'm going to fold it horizontally and vertically. Again, I'm making sure that the corners line up and the edges line up. When I'm done, I'm going to have an X in the middle and a plus sign in the middle. That's how I know I've done it right. Yep, it makes kind of a little bowl here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it so that the corner is pointed at pointed at my belly button. And then I'm going to take the edges and I'm going to hold the right corner in my right hand and the left corner in my left hand, and I'm just going to pull it right down so it makes a diamond like this. Let me show you that again. I've got it open. I'm going to hold the corners and I'm just going to pull it down. And I like to crease it again to make sure that those are nice sharp folds. The next step is to pull this edge up, fold this edge up so that it's right there at the crease, and crease it firmly. Next, you want to do a symmetrical fold on the left side. Same thing, you want to make it go right to the center. And you don't want these to overlap. You want them to be exactly side by side. And then I'm going to fold this whole section down. I open up the side flaps. And I'm going to lift this up into a tall diamond. Here's how I do it. I do the bottom half of the diamond first. I do the bottom half, and then I do the top half of the diamond. So I'm going to take this and I'm just folding it kind of inside out on its own folds that you've already made. And then once it's in that tall diamond, you just recrease all your edges. And then flip the whole thing over and do the exact same thing on the back. You want to have symmetrical folds on the front and the back. And then crease that real firmly. I'm going to bring this whole section down and fold it. Really crease it. Open up those side flaps. And again, I'm going to make that tall diamond. I just do the bottom half of the diamond first. It's a little easier on the second one. And the top half of the diamond. And so now it looks a little bit like a kite. And you see that little mangled point there? I don't want that. I'm going to fix that. That happens sometimes. Alright, now I know I've done it right because I have this little split that's happening right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skinny it up. I take this edge and I fold it right to that center where the split is. And then I do it the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do a symmetrical fold. You know, the word origami comes from the Japanese word ori, which means to fold, and gami, which means paper. Origami, folding paper. That's exactly what it means. I'm doing a symmetrical fold on the back. And that one got a little wonky, so I'm going to go back and fix it. You want to be as precise as possible. Alright, still got that split. That's how I know I'm doing it right. I'm going to take this, and this is going to become the wing. I'm going to fold it all the way down. That point is going to be right here, in between the split. It's going to go point right at that split. And then I'm going to fold it. Flip it over. Do the same thing on the back. Now, oh, we're so close. You're so close to being done. What we're going to do next is we're going to open up the side flaps And we're going to lift up this little skinny thing all the way up so it forms kind of almost like a right angle right there. And I'm going to fold it right on inside of itself. Let me show you that again. I lift up the side flap, I lift this up and fold it on top of itself. And then do the exact same thing, symmetrical fold on the other side. I lift up the side flap, lift this up nice and tall, and then I put it back down. And here it looks a little bit like a longhorn. And the last step is to decide which side's going to be the head and which side's going to be the tail. And I usually have one side that's a little bit wonky. I think it's this one. And that's the side that's going to become the head. What I do is I fold it down, pinch it, and then I put my fingernail in there, kind of make it a inside out little V shape right there for the little head. And then I open up the wings, give it a little tug, and ta-da! There's your crane. That's how you make a traditional crane, just like that. And you know you've done it right because there's a little hole right there, and that gives it a square base to sit on and balance. Now, if you're wanting to make a fancy crane, and you need to start with fancier paper, there's a trick to make sure that the fancy paper shows up. Let me show you what you do. You start with your fancy paper side up, and you're going to fold the diagonals with the fancy paper on the inside. This paper is a little more expensive, so I like to wait until I have some experts before I start handing out this paper. Flip it over like a pancake, and then you're going to fold the horizontal and the vertical. And then, same thing that you did before, you're going to have that diamond so that the point is pointing at you. And then you just fold it down, and everything else is the same. You're just going to continue folding until you end up with your origami crane. Have fun making cranes. Thank you. Bye.